preaches security, promotes security and peace. But that should be brought about in a legal manner. That is, according to Islamic law, the way you achieve the security should be legal. Now, the insurance as such is not prohibited. In fact, it is a very good concept. But the way the insurance companies ran in the beginning, as they came into the offing, two strong objections from Islamic point of view could be raised against them. Number one, they had a very strong permanent feature of usury or interest. And secondly, they had a very prominent and strong feature of, what do you call it? Game of chance? Gambling, that's right, yes. So there was a game of chance or gambling attached to it so tenaciously that the very concept of insurance was woven with these two threads of interest and gambling. Either you get much more than you pay, or you lose all the deposit whatsoever. That was how the insurance began. So when Hazrat Masih Maud ﷺ was written to by somebody who had got himself insured, Hazrat Masih Maud ﷺ did not reject the idea of insurance outright. What he wanted to know was, write to me the conditions, then I'll decide. So when the conditions were reported to him, he said it has both the elements of interest and gambling. So even if you have to run a loss, you forget about it and leave the insurance immediately. So he left. Now, from time to time, this question was taken up by Jamaat Ahmadiyya, and sometimes independent boards of scholars were constituted, and sometimes Majlis-e-Iftah was given the task of threshing the subject out again, considering the changes in the pattern of insurance which have been taking place ever since. I was also once appointed a member of the committee, and it was my task to collect the data of changing aspects of insurance historically. So my study revealed that the insurance as such has been traveling from un-Islamic values towards Islamic values, with the result that it was no longer a must for each participant or a policy holder to go into a contract on interest basis. It was ultimately left to him as a choice whether he would prefer an insurance with interest or without interest. Again, the element of gambling was also removed, because gradually insurance companies came into being, and now almost entire insurance companies have this, that you do not lose in any way the money you pay. You get it back, plus your risk is covered. Now that risk is covered through a law which is called the law of large numbers. In large numbers, the money which is accumulated and is put to some use, they can work out the profit, and they can work out the risks, and those risks can be covered to the extent that if you return the money of every policyholder in full, still you can meet the accidental expenses which may be incurred, death and other things. So because of this, both these elements were removed. Yet there was a third element which was pointed out by Hazrat Muslim Maud, Radiyallahu Ta'ala Anhu, and he said that although fundamentally and in principle these are the two objectionable elements, yet there is a third element to it, and that is that insurance has become an integral part of the Western banking system, and it helps accumulate money in a few hands. And insurance companies are also playing havoc with the world economy. Huge insurance companies and reinsurance companies have come into being, and they have become great capitalists. So where did their capital come from? In fact, they have become a source, a magnet for attracting money unless huge mountains are created. And that is against the general philosophy of Islam. Not a set principle in so many words, but the general financial philosophy of Islam does not promote collection of money in a few hands through a system which goes on increasing that concentration. So this was the objection raised by him. And he himself suggested in those days that if some sorts of insurance companies who are run on mutual basis, loss and profit basis with mutual shareholders, so that the policy makers also have some share in the company, and they in the long run are responsible for loss and profit, that would be something very close to Islam. That was one element which got introduced again, and this mutual insurance became more popular. So when I studied the history, I found it surprisingly gaining more ground, with the result that there is a constant ascending graph vis-a-vis the ratio between the mutual insurance companies and non-mutual insurance companies. So that was one factor which brought insurance of the present day still closer to Islam. Yet there was another factor which had to be looked into, that the insurance companies as such play dice. They gamble in a manner that when you calculate the risks, you'll be surprised to learn that if today we dissolve all the insurance companies, each insurance company would go under debt. What they are doing is, now this was some discovery which resulted out of my investigation. The fact is that they are in fact deceiving the world in a way. They present their budgets in a manner that they always appear to have more money than they have to pay. But the ordinary people do not know that they include in their budget of the present year the money which they have to pay to the future people, say about extending up to 20, 30, 40 years. They have already taken their money, they have consumed that money, and they are responsible for all the accidents and things and the full payment of the future 20 years. When they enter the next year, they get new income for the next year. So this fraud is never discovered by the people. It's a continuous process. But this continuous process ripens ultimately into some catastrophe, particularly during the crisis of the World War and things. And suddenly, these companies go bankrupt, and all the people who went to them for their security end up in total insecurity and loss. So all these things have to be taken into account. As far as the individual policyholder is concerned, all we can do is now to advise him that as far as your own decision is concerned, insurance as such is not against the principles of Islam. try to get a policy with which you avoid both the elements of gambling as